the best way I know to test an idea to see would it play, for instance, as a recording or at a trade show, some sort of messaging. The idea is you've got to be it to see it. So today I received an email with a concept that's very well articulated about how to present CueCam as a real-time production system. So my first step was to go to Google's NotebookLM, and I pasted in that entire email content and searched the web to find information touching on those same concepts. I found 50-something sources, and it gave me a detail on the real-time revolution. And it brought out grounding from the web to support what was in that email. I then went into Gemini and I used the Google LM notebook that I had created with all those sources, and I asked, what are the most salient topics to be at a trade show where people are milling and walking by? What topics are they most able to gravitate towards, ask questions about, and take home to tell others? So that script needs to be developed. And so I went back into NotebookLM and I created just a couple of sources, the CueCam website and that script outline that was produced earlier by Gemini. And it brought out a number of artifacts, including a video overview, which we'll end this piece with. They generated a bunch of slides. I wasn't too enamored by them, but it also generated this video, and I'll just play it to end.
You ever have a brilliant idea for a video, only to just drop it when you remember the mountain of editing you'd have to climb? Yeah, you are not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why that happens and how a real-time revolution is about to change everything. So let's get right into it. I want you to just let this question sink in for a second. What if the time you spent recording your video was the total time it took to produce it? No post-production, no editing, no rendering, just done. It sounds kind of impossible, right? Well, that's the new reality we're going to explore today. For anyone who's ever even tried to make a video, you know this feeling. You finish recording, you're on that creative high, and then, boom, the dread sets in. You realize the real work is just beginning. You've just fallen into what we call the editing trap, that seemingly endless cycle of reviewing, cutting, and tweaking.
And believe it or not, this thing actually has a name. The Temporal Multiplier. It's that invisible force that somehow turns 5 minutes of polished video into a 10-hour workday. And in the creator economy, this multiplier isn't just an inconvenience, it's a massive barrier that just chokes consistency and burns out even the most passionate creators out there.
So what's the antidote to this crazy temporal multiplier? It's this beautiful, almost radical idea, a 1-to-1 production ratio. The goal here is that a 10-minute video should take, well, 10 minutes to make. And this isn't just about saving time. It's about reclaiming your creative momentum and making content creation something you can actually stick with.
But here's the thing, that feeling of dread, it's not just in your head. It's not some personal failing or lack of discipline. The reason you put off editing is actually baked right into a scientific formula that governs human motivation.
Okay, let's break this down together. This right here is the procrastination equation. It basically says our motivation is all about how much we expect to succeed and how much we value the outcome, divided by our impulsiveness and the delay until we get that reward. Now, when it comes to video editing, this equation is pretty much perfectly engineered to work against us.
So when we apply this to video editing, you can see exactly why it's so tough to even get started. Your expectation of finishing is low because, let's face it, editing software is complex. The value, that finished video, it feels impossibly far away. Your impulsiveness kicks in, making literally any other task seem more appealing. But the biggest killer here, the denominator that just crushes your motivation, is delay. That huge time gap between the fun, creative act of recording and the satisfaction of publishing, that's where great ideas go to die.
But what if we could just eliminate that delay? That right there is the core of the real-time revolution. See, the solution isn't to become a faster editor or to just work harder.
It's to adopt an entirely new philosophy of creation. And this shift in mindset is captured perfectly in this one statement. We need to move away from this complex, multi-stage model that's all about post-production. The future is a streamlined, solo creator model focused on a single, live performance.
And this just shows the difference so clearly. The old way is the editing suite, a cycle of high friction and high delay, something really built for teams. The new way, that's the Performance Hub. It's a frictionless, one-take production model that gives you instant results and is built specifically for the individual creator.
So what does a Performance Hub actually look like? Well, it's a set of tools, usually all baked into a single app, designed to let you produce a finished video live in one single take. A great example is an app like CueCam, which brings your script, your slides, your camera controls, and all your on-screen effects into one place, ready for a live performance.
This kind of tech lets you go from just turning up, switching on your webcam, to truly showing up. And what that means is having a plan, bringing something extra to the table like on-screen drawing or slides, and creating something that's clear, professional, and memorable from the second you hit record.
Let's look at the actual concrete difference this makes in your day-to-day workflow. Without a hub, you're stuck in the old way, wasting time in an editing suite, hunting for sharing buttons in a dozen different apps, and juggling awkward teleprompters. With the Performance Hub, you get a live, one-take workflow, frictionless sharing, and literally one button to advance your entire show. It's all about removing that mental load so you can focus purely on your performance.
Now, this isn't just a cool theory. Let's see how this technology is completely transforming how professionals communicate, and in the process, turning them into really powerful creators. This is Quincy Avery. He's a top quarterback coach. He used to struggle to explain these super complex plays clearly and quickly. By using a Performance Hub, he can now draw directly on game footage while he's talking, which makes his analysis incredibly clear and engaging. And the result? His audience engagement just skyrockets.
His workflow is basically the revolution in action. He loads a clip, he draws on it live to explain the play, and the second he hits stop, the video's done. No editing. A perfect one-to-one production ratio. It's powerful, it's efficient, and it's a workflow that is now accessible to absolutely anyone.
So what does this all lead to? Let's zoom out a bit and look at the ultimate empowering vision this new philosophy unlocks for every single one of us. To put it simply, this is the end of the team barrier. For decades, if you wanted to create high-quality, polished video, you needed a team, a producer, a camera operator, an editor. That barrier and all the cost and complexity that came with it is now gone. The tools are here for you to become a powerful, efficient, one-person media company. And that brings us to the final, and I think the most important question. When all the technical hurdles are removed, when the delay is gone, and when the only thing standing between you and your audience is your idea, what will you create?
What we're getting at aspirationally is something that enables a solo entrepreneur or entrepreneurial team member to become the media presenter in Zoom meetings, in presentations for the organization, and that's tremendous value at drastically reduced price of hiring production teams for events.